Step 5, enhancing your product. I played a video game called RuneScape, and I was addicted to it for most of my life, from childhood to teenage or even adult years. I had about 10,000 hours on that game, bro. Fuck me. So it's like an MMORPG game. You probably know what that is. It's kind of like you've got your own character, like your own accounts that you log into every day. And you level it up, but also there's everyone else and they level up their characters too. And there's like monsters to kill and quests to do and everything. And on this game, there's kind of like a marketplace. Like there's items that gets dropped from monsters or, you know, from the ground, whatever. And you get them, they're worth a certain amount of like gold, like cash. And you can start to trade it with people. You can go to like what's called the Grand Exchange, which is like a big shop where we can all buy and sell each other's product. And I want you to really think about this game, right? I want you to think, imagine there's like a sword. What would happen if the developers of this game released a new patch note saying, this sword is now significantly stronger. The attack level, like the strength or, you know, like the power of this sword has just been 3 times. Imagine they just released that, like the developers, right? What would happen inside the game for the price of the sword? It would go up. Why would it go up? Really think about it. What action would cause it to go up? More people would be buying it. Because it's better, it would cause a demand. And when the demand goes up, the price goes up. Because if this sword was for 100 gold points, like that's the cash in this game, 100 gold points, but we've just doubled how powerful the sword is, well then more people are instantly going to log in and think, oh man, I'm going to go buy that sword, okay, 100 gold coins or whatever. The guy who's got it, and now he has like 3 people message him or say to him like, oh, I'll buy it for 100, I'll buy it for 110, I'll buy it for 150, I'll buy it for 200. It's just doubled in price. The bids keep going higher and higher. When we make something better, the demand goes up, and therefore the price goes up. Why not do that with your package? Why not think to yourself, how could you be that developer who just tweaks a few things and then makes that sword better? How could you make your package better so that it causes more of a demand, more people want to buy it, and then you can just raise the prices? This is demand. But what about supply? You've heard the term before, supply and demand. Supply is the quantity of the thing. Simply put, the more quantity, like the more of a thing, the less valuable it is. That makes sense, right? So this sword here is worth 100 gold points, and there's 1,000 in the game. If the developers say, oh yeah, the monster that drops this sword, it's only going to drop the sword half as much, what's going to happen? The supply of the sword coming, you know, generated into the game, like RNG generated into the game, is going to be cut in half, which means that the supply of the sword is going to be lowered, which means that the sword is going to be rarer, which means that, again, the price goes up. Supply, the quantity. So how could you lower the supply of your package? What could you do to like lower the amount that is available? You can use scarcity and urgency. Scarcity is when you limit the quantity of the product or service that you have. And you say, okay, there's only a certain amount that is available. Now you see this when you go into like some sales pages, you see this often where the person will say like, oh yeah, like, you know, there's only like 7 left, or I only have 5 more spots, or whatever it is. Let's be honest, it kind of looks a little bit like sleazy, but it's the name of the game. It's just like, you will undeniably get more sales if you just have some kind of scarcity and urgency. So if you've got like some kind of limiting belief right now, thinking, wait, I always hate that when I see it on like a website when they say like, oh, only 7 more left, only this, you know, the sale ends on Friday. Why do you think every single store in the entire world uses like the concept of a sale? Oh yeah, you know, the sale, we've got lower prices, but it ends next week. It's because it works. So if you're going to play the game of entrepreneurship, like, you may as well win the fucking game. Play it properly. Don't be scared of like playing the game and thinking, oh man, but it doesn't sound so cool, or like it doesn't make me feel good. Like, just fucking play the game, right? Use the tactics that are available because they work. So scarcity is when you lower the quantity that is available. And what I would say that would work for pretty much everyone who's watching this, just use honesty about your capacity. What this means is, like, be honest about how many people you could actually help, like, that you've got the brain power for. Chances are your package is going to be a big mix of things, but it's going to have some kind of interactive component. So you might make, for example, whatever your like niche is, the problem, the result is, the fat loss, let's say. You'll do a bunch of things like, oh yeah, Notion templates and courses and whatever you want to add in. But chances are you'll probably add in a little bit of like your own time to it, maybe a one-to-one call, maybe a group call, maybe some accountability and everything. But you can only do so much of that. So technically, it's absolutely true that you could only actually handle a certain number of sales, right? A certain number. You could probably only sell like a few people a week until you had too many people and you were you had to wake up and message like 10 of your clients or something, or you had to like serve a bunch of people and it started to get like quite painful and quite overwhelming for you. You have your own limit with work. So that can be your scarcity tactic. You can literally write on your sales page, which we'll be making soon, I can only take on 5 clients this month and I've already got 4. So as soon as the next person books in, you can't buy it till the next month. So if you want to buy it, like, make sure you buy it before like anyone else does. That will actually increase your sales significantly. Urgency is another way to enhance your package. Urgency is specifically about the time. So first, there's the quantity, that's scarcity. Urgency is just time. There's like a deadline. Okay, you can only buy by midnight tonight. Otherwise, the price goes up. You can also use guarantees to increase the demand of your product. So a guarantee is kind of like you giving reassurance that your product or your package is actually going to help them and that they'll get the value that they've assumed. So the most common guarantees are just like the refunds, saying, okay, if you're not happy, if you want a refund, then I'll give you a refund. In general, it's pretty much always worth to turn that on and to just say like, yeah, you know what, within 7 days or 14 days, you can use the thing. If you don't like it, if you want a refund, just get a refund. Boom. I'm not going to like stop you. Just send me an email and I'll give you a full refund. And obviously like I'll revoke your access to the product after that. Generally, you'll get like more sales that to the point that it's worth it. So it can seem kind of like annoying to think, wait, I'm going to like, give people a refund. I don't want to do that. They've used my thing as well. They've got to like see my courses. Maybe I did a one-to-one time, but you'll get a lot more sales if you do offer the guarantee. So it's kind of like, it's pretty much always worth it. This is something you can experiment on. But as a beginner, if I could just give you advice that you like blindly follow, what I will say is just allow the refunds. Just give this guarantee, full refund within 7 or maybe 14 days. If you're not happy, you literally just send me an email and I'll just give you a full refund. That's it. So you've got nothing to worry about. I want you to be super happy and I'll try my best to make you happy. And like, I'll try my best to make sure that you don't want a refund. That's it. You'll actually get way more sales to the point that it's actually worth turning that on. So here's your actionable step for this part of the guide, which you can take some time on. Think about how you can add scarcity, urgency, guarantees, and also how you could just increase the demand of your product by making it better. Can you think of any more bonuses that you could add in there? Think about that patch notes that the developer are going to say like, oh yeah, the sword is better. How could you buff? Yeah, the video game term, like, oh, they buffed the sword or they nerfed the sword. How could you buff like each part inside of your package? Think of that right now, maybe write it down, spend a few minutes thinking and then continue watching.